A tradition that has lasted for 11 years is now broadcast. 18 weeks. How many games? A lot of games. More than 100 games. 17 for each team. On the road. At home. In Brazil. London. Germany. Soon Greenland, perhaps. Maybe. Who knows? The NFL season has come to a close. Yes, the playoffs are coming, but even more importantly, the Spreadsheet National Championship is here. What started as a little bit of a project to make pro football more like college football has ended here tonight. Actually, we'll keep going after this, but welcome in. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Daniel West, the founder and creator of the Pro Football Spreadsheet National Championship. Briefly, how it works: a number of anonymous voters from the NFL world who don't even know they're taking part take part every week in a poll to decide the Spreadsheet National Championship. Those voting metrics are then tallied with where they stand in the league, the conference standings, and other perhaps secret things. Division winners are counted. The next best teams are counted, and then perhaps a wild card based on the voting of the panel. Those are all dumped into the computer, and after many games, we will find out tonight who wins. Your top three entering this weekend in no particular order. Actually, this is the order that they came in. The Chiefs, number 1. The Buffalo Bills, number 2, and the Detroit Lions, number 3. But as I drop my board here, let's find out exactly what happened over the weekend and who is going to be the Spreadsheet National Champion. I'm really just filling until this music ends. I don't know why the music's so long. We could fade at any time, but apparently our board does not have fade, so I just have to keep rolling. They give me the signal. Keep rolling. We are here. Who will join the likes of the Patriots, the Saints, the Ravens, the Packers, and many more? There's a major windstorm outside you may hear. If a tree comes through the window, well, I guess this will go very viral. We entered with 3, as I mentioned earlier. Coming in as the number 1 seed. You hear that? Hopefully we're still here by the end of this. The Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs, back-to-back Spreadsheet National Champions. Actually, they didn't. They won in 20. Actually, they haven't won in a while. Super Bowl doesn't count here. Last year, Baltimore Ravens with a record of 13-4 were the unanimous champions. The year before that, in 2022, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Green Bay Packers in 2021, and the Chiefs in 2020. The full history is available on our website, sportsbuilding.com. Now, here's how we entered this weekend. Number 1 were your Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs, of course, Patrick Mahomes and all them guys. Number 2, the Buffalo Bills, who played the Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season. And lastly, the Detroit Lions. We don't have time for highlights, but quickly, let's summarize what happened over the weekend in the NFL. First, we begin with those Kansas City Chiefs. They rested everyone. Now, remember I mentioned the voters are just part of this poll. Number 2, well, that's what you do on the field. And the Kansas City Chiefs, well, they dropped the game, which is important because that now means that if the Detroit Lions won, they might move up in the standings as far as the overall, well, season standings. 38-0 the final score. The Broncos beating the Chiefs. The Broncos needing to do that to make the playoffs. Would the Broncos make the top 9 in our rankings as a possible playoff team? We'll see. Well, the door was open then for the Buffalo Bills to potentially run on through, and they lost. They lost to the Patriots in what would turn out to be Gerard Mayo's final game, the final 23-16. Josh Allen played just 1 snap in this game so that we could all say that, yay, Josh Allen has started a game, and then he immediately sat down, which meant the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings not only were playing for the number 1 seed, but perhaps were playing to win the Spreadsheet National Champion. And, well, Sam Darnold missed a lot of throws. I'm sure there's more analysis for that game, but that's pretty much all I got from it. The final score, 31-9. The Detroit Lions beat the Vikings. So again, the number 1 Kansas City Chiefs lost 38-0 when they were resting all their starters. Not important for the rankings per se, because we know the rankings people are more than likely going to keep the Chiefs where they are. They're not going to drop them for that loss. Same with the Buffalo Bills, who lost to the Patriots. But because the Lions won, that now means they have the added benefit of maybe moving up in the overall standings as a top seed, or maybe in the overall NFL standings, which are factored in. So there you had it, or have it, I should say. But there is a full top 9 to be unveiled. And now, without further ado, it is time. Can we please fade the music? Dave, John, whoever's back there, please, can we thank you? Thank you. All right, thank you. Maybe not that quickly. Can we try that again, please? Or can we fade it like can we fade it like professionals here? There we go. Very good. They're learning. All right. If you're new to sports building, well, so am I. Sports building is an idea. It's a theory. It's also a show. It changes every week. Sometimes Dave is here, my co-host. He felt this was much too serious and somber an event, so he decided not to show up. So I'm just here. Sports building may be 10 minutes, it may be 30 minutes. You never know. Sports building may be on a Tuesday, it may be on a Wednesday, it may disappear for a couple weeks for Christmas and come back. You never know. But the one thing that is consistent here on sports building, no matter what happens, no matter the name of the show, we always end with our top 10 list. So this week, the top 10 winners of the week will not just be the top 10 winners of the week, they will be the top 10, actually top 9, in the Spreadsheet National Championship rankings. I've held you long enough. Unlike ESPN when they do the college football playoff and it takes 40 minutes to get here, we are doing it right now. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, for the final time this season, it is time to announce the winners of the week. The winners this week are all the teams in the Spreadsheet National Championship. John Beanie, please hit the imaging. It is time to unveil, for the first time ever in a broadcast setting, the top 9 and our Spreadsheet National Champion.
It's time for the best countdown in sports radio. From 10 to 1, here are the informal program's winners! Winners! Winners!
For those of you watching on YouTube Sports Building, you will see that we have spared no expense in the graphics department. And for those of you listening, I want you to imagine the most beautiful countdown graphics possible and keep that image in your head. And don't go to YouTube.
Here's number 9.
Coming in at number 9, the number 9 team ranked, according to the computers, in the NFL after 18 weeks, 17 regular season games. I thought I heard someone scream out there. It's really getting windy. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, champions of the NFC South. They are going to the postseason where they will play the Washington Commanders at some point. We don't have the schedule in front of us, but you can look that up for yourselves. But they win that conference with a record of 10-7. They beat the Falcons in their standings. Baker Mayfield takes them to the playoffs, their 4th straight division title. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who will end the season ranked.
Number 8.
Coming in at number 8, according to the computer. The Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers, the youngest team in the NFL, one of the youngest teams in the NFL, make it to the playoffs as the number 7 seed. The first time in recorded spreadsheet rankings history that a team ranked 3rd in their own division makes the top 9. They make it in as a rankings wild card, which means they were among the teams that were voted on, not necessarily high enough in the overall normal standings, but the voters really like the Packers, and they come in at number 8.
It's number 7.
Coming in at number 7, the Washington Commanders. Now, the Washington Commanders have a new head coach in Dan Quinn, who's with the Cowboys last year. They have a new quarterback in Jaden Daniels. They're going to the playoffs, and here they are, 2nd in the NFC East, a wild card team in the playoffs. But overall, according to the computer, the number 7 team in the NFL. It is time for number 6. I said it is time for number 6.
At number 6,
the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings entered last week ranked number 4 in the standings. They fall 2 spots to number 6. After being blown out, as I mentioned earlier, by the Green Bay Packers. They had a chance to clinch the number 1 seed, may have actually even clinched an argument to be the Spreadsheet National Championship winner, but instead they lose it all. And now people are questioning Sam Darnold, and now people are questioning the Vikings, and now the Rams, who beat them earlier in the year, may deliver them another loss. And there's a possibility that the Minnesota Vikings finish the year with a record of 14-3, lose their first-round playoff game, will have a record of 14-4. All those losses will have come to either the Rams or the Lions, and they will be winless in the playoffs. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. As for right now, the most important thing, the Minnesota Vikings have fallen out of consideration for the Spreadsheet National Championship. Still a good season, number 2 in the NFC North, excuse me. I know my directions. Here they are. We're getting close. Number 5.
Here's number 5.
We spared no expense for the imaging. Literally. Coming in at number 5, the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens, champions of the AFC North Division, where they beat out the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, if you have not noticed, will not be ranked at the end of this season, which is a bit of a surprise if you had seen them throughout the year. The voters are not big fans of them. The standings did not take too kindly to them by the end of it. And it is the Baltimore Ravens behind Derrick Henry and behind Lamar Jackson, who, as we know, is in the flesh. Just don't even worry about it. I know we have it in the system, but we're not going to have to look up Lamar. We're not looking up Lamar Jackson. It's too late. The moment has ended.
Lamar Jackson in the flesh.
That's right, in the flesh. One more time, please. Lamar Jackson. Where's Lamar Jackson? Okay, never mind. It's fine. We don't have to do imaging or anything like that. So it's only a broadcast of a countdown.
Lamar Jackson in the flesh.
All right, very good. Lamar Jackson in the flesh, and his Ravens will be in the flesh. Number 5 in the rankings. It's now time for the top 4. If this were the college football playoff, this is where we'd have all manner of discussion and shock, but we don't have that here. Let's reveal the number 4 team according to the spreadsheet.
At number 4,
the Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles kind of stayed in this position for most of the year. Early on in the season, their head coach was fighting with Eagles fans because, well, they're Eagles fans. I'm sorry. I know people in Philly, and they're wonderful, but, I don't see other fan bases fighting your head coach on the sidelines, and he's yelling at you, and he has to bring his kids. And anyway, Eagles are number 4. Champions of the NFC East, going to the playoffs. Saquon Barkley with an outside shot at being the MVP, perhaps. He could have perhaps broken Eric Dickerson's rushing record, but the Eagles valued rest and made their own bye. But here they are at number 4, sort of a holding pattern. They were here all year. If someone above them fell, this is where they probably would have moved up, but they never did. So the Eagles are at number 4. For those of you just joining us here, I don't know why I'm doing a reset. This isn't a radio, but if you're just joining us, welcome to the first ever unveiling. This is the 11th year of the Spreadsheet National Championship rankings. Number 9, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 8, the Green Bay Packers. Number 7, the Washington Commanders. Number 6, the Minnesota Vikings. Number 5, the Baltimore Ravens. Number 4, the Eagles. And now we get to the top 3. As I mentioned, for most of the season, the top 3 fluctuated. One week, the Lions lead. Another week, the Bills lead. Another week, the Chiefs are in control. Another week, people don't trust the Chiefs. Another week, the Bills aren't trusted. The Lions aren't trusted. How would it pan out? As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, the Kansas City Chiefs lost, the Buffalo Bills lost, and the Lions won. However, both the loss for the Chiefs and the loss for the Bills were kind of understandable, so the voters didn't necessarily have a tough time with them. On top of that, the Chiefs had already clinched the number 1 seed. The Lions didn't have a lot of room to move up, and the Buffalo Bills were sort of stuck at number 2. So as we entered this weekend, number 1, Kansas City, number 2, Buffalo, number 3, Detroit. Did it finish that way? It is now time to reveal.
And now, your top 3.
Finishing at number 3, with a record of 14-3, your Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, who had a chance to control things in the later weeks, end up at number 3. Josh Allen, the likely MVP of the league, leads the Buffalo Bills to the playoffs, but will not lead them to the Spreadsheet National Championship, which, as we know, is even more important. And then there were 2. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to reveal number 2. Then we're going to reveal number 1. I have been told, and I have seen the computer rankings to prove this. We will not show the formula because it's proprietary information. But I've been told that this is one of the closest finishes in computer spreadsheet championship history since there was a dead tie in 2014 between the Seahawks and the Patriots that had to be settled by the third tiebreaker, which, as we know, is common opponents. And this, I'm being told, is one of the closest ever championship fights. As the spreadsheet was being calculated, the teams went back and forth, but only one could be number 1. Of course, on one side, you have the Detroit Lions, who finished the year with a record of 15-2, regular season conference champions. And on the other side, you have the Kansas City Chiefs with a record of 15-2, regular season conference champions. All of them have a lot of quality wins. All of them have a reason to be considered the champions. But who would win? First, your runner-up.
This is number 2.
Coming in at number 2 with a record of 15-2. With an average in the computer poll of 1.56, which was just 0.0111 away from number 1. The Kansas City Chiefs. And that means, for the first time in computer spreadsheet national championship history, and really the first time in the Super Bowl era, at number 1.
Here's number 1.
With a record of 14-2, with an average in the computer poll of 1.44, which is 0.0111 ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs, for the first time in my lifetime, in many of our recorded history, congratulations to the Detroit Lions, your 2024 National Spreadsheet Champions.
Congratulations.
What a moment for Dan Campbell. What a moment for Detroit. What a moment for the world. If you had told us many years ago, even last year or 2 years ago, that the Detroit Lions would be sitting here as the Spreadsheet National Champions, I don't know who would have believed you. But here we all are today. Congratulations once again to your 2024 Spreadsheet National Champions, the Detroit Lions.
We are winners! Winners!
John, you cut it off. We gotta hit that again. We gotta get better with the timing here. Hit it again, please.
We are winners! Winners! Winners!
That's right. And of course, the city of Detroit, for the first time since 2004 that we know of. They are, John?
We know we're a winning city!
That's right. Well, that just about concludes the 2024 Spreadsheet National Championship rankings. Thank you so much for joining the show today. Today's show was loosely produced by Dave Rogers, and when I say loosely, I mean I did everything, and then Dave put his name on it, which I think is something that I could sue over. John Beanie has been the audio engineer in theory because he didn't play anything at the right time. And the news snail is here with the breaking news that Gerard Mayo has been fired, which I told you at the start of the show. For more information, log on to thesportsbuilding.com. Subscribe on YouTube, SportsBuilding, and on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, which hopefully isn't one of those 2 spots. Until next time, which I don't know when that will be, but when it is, we'll have a great time. I am Daniel West. You have been the host. I've been the host. You've been the listeners. We'll get that right one of these days. Thank you for spending some time in the sports building, and congratulations to the Detroit Lions, your 2024 Spreadsheet National Champions.
Sports Building is a production of the Informal Program. For more information, log online to thesportsbuilding.com.